Good afternoon. A little while ago, I don't know why, it's been a while since I've been to 7th grade, but I remember this teacher, a large man, and he'd come in every day and he'd have these books up there while we were doing our math quizzes and things like that. He always had a pile of books there he was messing with. One day he looked at me and he says, "Mr. Clark, you come up here." I went up there and he says, "I need help doing my paper routes and my inventory of how many papers I get a day and what it's costing me and how many missed deliveries I've had and all this kind of stuff to find out how I'm having a problem losing money here and there." And I just looked at him and I said, "Sir, you've been giving me C's and D's on my quizzes. I don't know that I am qualified to do what you asked me to do, and I don't really understand it." He says, "Just take the books and take a look. Here, I'll just give you one of my routes, and you try and figure that out." So I took it home. I worked on it. I went back, and he says, "Oh, so you say I made a profit on that one, and everything seems to be okay." And I said, "Yeah, I think so." So he took it, and 3 days later he gives it back to me and he says, "I've been losing money there. You better figure out what the heck's going on." Anyway, he kept pestering me like this and using me an example in front of the class. I talked to my dad. My dad was ready to go down there and talk to him. I said no. And he says, the guy shouldn't be having you balance his checkbook. And I said, "It's not a checkbook." And my dad says, "Well, you haven't had a checkbook yet, but you'll know what that means when you do." Anyway, so as it ended up, he kept picking on me and making my life totally miserable. So I figured out, because he said, "I'm going to do this to you." He said, "You make a mistake, and I'm going to double check you. And if you cost me money, then you have to pay me that." And so the first week, it cost me $1. Second week, it was almost $4, which I didn't have. And so he let me have a loan out on that. And he told me that it was going to be a penny a day added on top of that as interest. And so I got really busy with these paper routes. So I told him I'd do the whole thing. So he gave me all 5 of the paper routes. And I figured out how to make money on him. And after the first month of me making almost $12 in profit myself because of the errors that he'd done, and I was able to charge him for that extra time. He said, "I'm sick and tired. You don't know what the hell you're doing." And at the end of that class section of graduation, he gave me an A+. Imagine that. So I learned a lesson in that, and from the story you probably figured it out too. Anyway, I'm going to play a little something up and at 'em, and away we go. So we're going to write this together, and here we go.